Should be working. I am going to have to. I think I'm gonna have to start. Whoa, that's loud. Do some things. Okay, yeah, that's Siribot. I can turn that down. Maybe make it a little bit quieter, because I think I am going to be stepping outside of some stuff today. I might end up standing up and walking around a little bit today. Alright. Eat that. Cool. So I think I got everything that I need. Oh. Ah! Hey! Hey! How you doing? How's the skunko doing? Yeah, I've decided that I would be, doing more late night streams and such. Good news on your end. I have found some things that we can go over later on tonight. After my stream, I will be hopping into yours. So I am not a person before noon. And for the past like 14 streams, I haven't been able to do a goddamn thing properly. So I've just thought that it would be better to stream at the end of the day, at the end of the night, rather than at the beginning of the day. Just because it's then I haven't been able to think very clearly. So I figured that I would probably be a lot more productive and a lot more entertaining at night rather than in the morning. So that is why I am doing the streams so late. Yes. And yes, I have done some homework to help in the Godot front. It seems like we're doing everything properly, but not exactly. Because what we should be doing is like loading in the scripts directly. It seems like that is like the better way of doing things rather than just piling everything into nodes and like we're both doing it correctly and incorrectly at the same time is what it seems like. Yeah. So, which is good news. We're basically it's just that we're on the right track is what it comes down to, which is cool, which is really cool. That's good news. So yeah, but in other news, I am going to be doing this, and I want to help out Otter. I want to help out Otter make games. Mainly because I have two of those open. That's not very good. Because he's doing some stuff. He's been trying. He wants to figure out how to rebalance color very easily, and you can do that pretty easily with shaders. And I figured that it'd be nice to do something a little bit different. Do something a little more. Nani? Undo. Why? Okay. Why? Jesus. Okay. How is the directory going to be 4 kilobytes if the file within it is 5? That math ain't mathin'. Okay. Cool. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in here. Yeah, tungsten. This is something that we were doing. Yeah, so I actually deleted everything in the tungsten. There are a lot of things in here that I will be. I was kind of bouncing some ideas off of. Kind of bouncing ideas off of Claude. And I'm pretty much doing that until I can get, an actual developer in on voice or something and just like bounce ideas off of someone who actually knows what the hell they're doing. Claude's doing okay for just kind of sanity checks. And I've been like inferring to see if there's any similarities between Tungsten and other languages. Which there are a lot of similarities so far, which is a good thing. That's not a bad thing. I don't want very much novelty with Tungsten because computer science has been solved since its inception. So, I would expect there to be not very many actual things along those lines. So I will be doing I could do I don't know what it is that I want to do. I don't want to open feel like I should have, well, Lua shaders. Yeah, I could just do it in here. Yeah, that's fine. So I could go into pictures. Are working on doing more, leaning towards 3Ding the character models and eventually doing pack animations. Probably something during working on more in early access. 3D models would be something to work on as a low poly either way. Yeah, I mean, the big difference when it comes to creating assets is that it is entirely dependent on your comfort, right? Namely, just what you feel comfortable creating. So, like where your skill set lies. Like that's what determines what you should be, doing your asset creation, right? So if you feel like you're gonna have a much easier time dealing with 3D models and like creating either sprites off of it, like some games have done, where you end up like rotoscoping and just like doing snapshots and things like that. That is one way of doing it. Like Donkey Kong Country did that, and a bunch of other games have done that. But you can do it that way. Or you could just do full-blown 3D. Doing things in 3D can be a pain in the ass. I feel like I don't know what the 3D ecosystem for Godot is like, right? So it can either be super easy, barely an inconvenience, like it is in Unreal, or it could be a colossal pain in the ass. So these are all things to like keep in mind, right? I think I want to have the noise gate be a little bit lower and a little bit lower. I think that's going to be a little bit better. That way I'm not cutting myself off very often. Because I do want to be speaking a little bit more quietly because my grandmother is trying to sleep. So I don't want to get all loud and obnoxious and, all that stuff. So I do want to copy this. And I want to paste it in here. Right? Tester-1.pmp. And I think, if I'm correct, I can do if I try and open up my at 60% usage, I'm going to kill my computer if I try and open up Firefox. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do it on my phone. So, yeah. How are you doing tonight, by the way? How are you doing tonight? Doing alright? How's the skunko? As long as I can do new image. Oh, okay, so that's how I do it. So I could do shader. Let's see here. Do you could do also do those models for non-game animation. Or yeah. Oh, yeah. That sucks. Yeah, I didn't have to deal with showers when I was working. I'm kind of glad that I didn't work at a truck stop. It was only a it was just a normal gas station. Out of the ones that I worked at. Oh yeah, I worked at 1, 2, 3, 4 different gas stations across 2 different states. Yeah. Not like a terrible job, you know. Like it's not great. It kind of sucks, but it's not like awful. I mean, it really depends on your management. Like if you have a shitty manager, then just it doesn't matter where you work at, you're gonna have a bad time. It just always sucks if your manager fucking sucks. Let's see. Graphics. Dot new image. Yeah. File data. File settings. Okay, so I think the settings is just optional. Hopefully it is. Well, I think what I want to do is do ls, and then it is new job, like, because your current one sucks ass and they're still with. Yeah, no! Oh, that's fucking garbage, dude. If you have documentation on that, you can sue the ever living shit out of them, dude. That sucks. So bad. Like that's. Whoa, that was a bit loud. Whoa. Yeah, that's like uber illegal. That's like incredibly illegal. That's like super illegal. That's real bad. Yeah, that's real bad. That sucks. I'm sorry they have to go through that. It only helps if I actually have the proper things. -1.emp. We'll see if that works. Yeah, because then what we can do is love.draw. It was 5 days now. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, is it? How do I? Still, that shit sucks. That shit really sucks. Regardless. Yeah, I'm so sorry that you have to go through that. Having your hours cut is terrible. And I mean, you can be all like, hey, if I only have 4 days a week, then I cannot afford to continue coming to work. Like, I am not getting enough hours for it to be worth my time to even show up. So either give me the 5 days, or I will find employment elsewhere, and I may or may not actually inform you when it is I'm going to be leaving. You know, they don't have to tell you when they fire you. They don't have to give you 2 weeks notice, right? But they expect two weeks notice out of you. Like that's a bunch of fucking bullshit, you know. So I would straight up warn them, like, hey, like if you don't want to give me the hours that I need for it to be worth my time, then I will seek employment elsewhere. And if they give you backlash for it, you know, or anything like that, then you can just be all like, you know. Yeah, a lot of ghost jobs. That's a huge issue too. Like that shit sucks. I think 32. Oh, well, I mean, I don't necessarily need to do that. I can just do 0, 0. I think. I don't wanna quit. I just want to do Love2D. I think that'll work. Yeah, I mean, no one's. It does work. That is working properly. Cool. That's awesome. Which means that it might be something. That is the texture. So I could pass in the texture. I could pass in the texture. It's like super tiny little itty bitty. It's so cute. Yeah, it's been almost a year and I can't get a job here either. Like we're all struggling to find a job. I'm trying to get a job too, and it's just not happening. It's super disheartening, super frustrating. You know, I wish everyone the best that's looking, because otherwise it just sucks. It sucks so bad. You know. So I could do. Yeah. Graphics.draw. Can I do that? Or no? I don't know why I can't hover. Control Z, or is it Z? That's fold. Can't. Is it Z capital H? I don't know how to operate shit. Yeah, scam job offers are a big issue too. This isn't even the new language. My shit's wrong. Whoops. Oops. Shader stuffs for shader stuffs. Whoopsie. Love2D shader stuffs. I just feel like I should probably have the proper title and all that, so I don't even really care if all that stuff is. Okay, so it is good on Twitch, good on YouTube. Yeah, I've had to deal with a few scam job offers too. It's always rough. I've also had a lot of people, like I've also been shafted on freelance work too, which super sucks. Like I basically did about $1,000 worth of work for someone and never heard back from them. I just pulled their you know, I basically pulled their access to the work that I did, because I made it a Google Doc, because basically what I did was I blocked out a design doc for them, a game design document, and like worked with them to do a full, breakdown of actual design for a project, going back and forth with a bunch of different whatchamacallit, like various, what is it, like mechanic designs and a bunch of other things like that for them, and they just completely ghosted me. So I was like, all right, well then fuck you, because like I was ready to like talk about like start negotiations for payment for the work and further work that I'd be doing for them, and they never got back to me. So I'm like, all right, well then fuck you, do it yourself then. So yeah, it was really disheartening. I don't know if there's like a way that I could do player mode. Well, let's do. Let's do 10. Let's do some experiments, shall we? That is not valid. Interesting. So, is there? Oh. So scale x, scale y, offset x, offset y. Okay, so this is the on-screen objects are drawn relative to their local coordinate system. The origin is by default located top left corner of the end of the all scale inversion. Which means that note that the offsets are applied before rotation, scaling, and shearing. Scaling and shearing are applied before rotation. Right and bottom edges of the shifted at an angle defined by the shearing factor. This function will be tinted according to the current state. Scale factor, origin offset, shearing factor. So I'm currently at R. So it is rotation scale, x scale y, offset x, offset y. So 1 1 0 0 1 1. No, 1 1 0 0 0 0. So it should be 0 10 10 0 0 0 0. Yeah. So 0 10 10 0 0 0 0. I do believe. I think that's it. You have a new joke? Knock knock. Who's there? Oh, that is super fucking blurry. How do I turn off? Mia. I hate you so much. Mia, 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 Numa, Numa, yeah. Numa, 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 yeah. Presta, presta, Numa, Numa, yeah. Yeah. I think. So. Okay, so that is that. That's gonna be an issue. So I need to be able to load in that texture. I don't like I want the nearest neighbor. But I don't think that there's a way that I can change that. I don't think there's a way that I can change that. Because it's going to be bilinear interpolate. that's definitely or no, that's probably bicubic. There's some pretty harsh stepping though in the black. It's a little strange. Usually it's bilinear by default. Oh well. I mean, Love2D is designed to be very beginner friendly, so it's probably bicubic. That looks like bicubic. Yeah. Okay. So that's a little bit bad. Don't love that. I don't really know. Yeah. Okay. So I can do. What is? What are? Is that it? Okay, that is it. Yeah, there we go. So I can do send. I have no idea what this is gonna look like. It should be that. Okay, so that is the script. I can change it so that it is the pixel coordinates. If I wanted to do that, hello that. Oh, clear, and love dot. There we go. That's what I want. Okay. So let's go into the shader. Let's start doing. Let's do a little bit of playtesting. So Otter McGame, he is working on a very adorable little game, and part of it is that he wants to make sure that he can do color rebalancing, right? So I don't know. And that's pretty much going to be like a post-processing. Like it's likely going to be a post-processing, shader. So like a gamma correction and color mapping, or color remapping, I should say. So part of that, right, is that the saturation and contrast is going to be different depending on what monitor you're looking at, right? So between, like for instance, between my laptop monitor, which is what I'm looking at, and my Huion, the orange over here, the orange on, on the left hand side here for uniform and this scope block, this scope bar, these are very, very, very kind of washed out and not very sharp on my laptop monitor. But on my Huion, it's very, very crisp and very, whatchamacallit? It's very, saturated. Like, there's a lot of saturation. So, I don't know what kind of I will be doing this DDA algorithm stuff. Well, I mean, I guess I could do. Well, yeah. I mean, this is gonna be Otter shader. Shader source. I don't know if I can just find and replace. I don't know how to do find and replace in the event. There's a lot of stuff in the event that I don't really know. Because I know how to like do find, because I can do love. I don't know how to do like a big work of that. It's probably F. Oh, it's not. Interesting. It's not capital F. But capital F is previous. Interesting. I don't know. I'll have to look into it. I'm sure there's like a Hydra mode or something like that, or like a multi-text something or another. I'm sure there's some way. I'm just too smooth brain for it, so I do not know. That's pretty much. Oh yeah. Let's see here. So we have function load texture. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if he pops in. If he does, then cool. If he doesn't, then that's fine too. There is no obligation. Yeah. Yeah, I don't care about the global shit, dude. I don't care. Really don't like how that feels. That's okay. Let's see. Yeah, I don't like follower only chat. Follower only chat is like really, really bad. And it's very antagonistic. It's very hostile, I feel. Same thing with enforcing, like especially when you already have bots like Seribot, there's no reason to have the verified accounts either. Because not necessarily everyone wants to verify their account for a lot of reasons, right? They don't necessarily want to hand over their, personal information to Amazon. And that's totally reasonable. I totally understand that, right? Especially if all you're doing is just consuming Twitch and not actively participating in it, then there's no real reason, right? I'm okay with handing over like a lot of my personal information for the sake of verification as a creator, because I should be able to be held accountable for my action, right? Like me personally, I feel that if you are actively creating content, and things like that, you should be able to be held accountable for your actions. Accountability is a very, very important thing, and I feel like it should be allowed. However, I also feel that things like age verification and government documents should not be handled on the private sector. That should be handled at a government level, period, end of discussion. I feel like if there should ever be a age verification system, it should be held by the owning government of the documentation itself. Right? So it should be an official government portal. So for the sake of, like, say, California, the state of California should have, should basically go through a few different checks. For instance, if your submitted document is not an official California ID, then it is immediately discarded, and then only stated if it matches official California ID, right? Then at that point, it is only held by the owning government of the dispatching government of the documentation itself, right? Of the identification documentation. And then all that happens is that the official portal ends up reporting back through the API saying, yeah, this person's good to go, or no. And then that should be it. There's a bunch of other different ways of handling it. That way is the most. I don't know. I still think that age verification is fucking stupid. It never works. It doesn't work, regardless of how you do it. I definitely understand the idea of having a notice, an age restriction notice, like how the internet has been doing it since the 90s, where if you go to an adult site, it notifies you that you are entering an adult site. And the cleansing of it, and I wish I had this argument in my mind, but if you can't trust a parent to not have their kids see something adult, yeah, it is not the government's job to be parenting your fucking kids. Do your job as a parent. Like, fucking parenting controls has been a solved situation. Alright? Like, it's not the job of, like, oh, but what about the children? Then beat the shit out of the parents. The parents aren't doing their fucking jobs if you're that concerned. It is not the government's job to be parenting kids. That is not the job of the government. Like, stop it. And if you follow the money, it's all coming back to Mark Zuckerberg. Anyway, Mark Zuckerberg is the reason why we're going through all this fucking censorship bullshit anyway. He literally just wants to collect more data and sell it against your fucking consent. Like, it's super stupid. It's really bad. So, like, it's so dumb. It's not the government's job to be a parent. So, anytime that's like, oh, but think of the children, then actually think about the children. Like, for the extreme of no one is allowed to have guns because a kid can see them or grab them. Yeah, that's literally, like, that's a super slippery slope and needs to fucking stop. It's so stupid. Fucking hate it. I hate it so bad. It's not the government's job to be a parent. That's what it boils down to. Like, if you really want to be, like, I mean, all you have to do is just say, like, if you want to have things like that, then just have more stringent. Don't be punishing the website. Right? If you have a website that is explicitly targeting children, like marketed towards kids with adult content on that, then yeah, you have a big fucking problem, right? But if you have a website that is saying when you hit the landing page, at some point when these credit cards say you can't use me in a gun store, yeah, exactly. Like, there's a big problem with all of that. Well, then you can't use your credit card at Walmart because Walmart sells guns. Right? You can buy rifles and ammunition at Walmart. So should you be allowed to use your credit card at Walmart? Your debit card at Walmart? Your EBT card at Walmart? Right? Like, it's super stupid. It's all about control. It's never about safety or helping the people. It's all about control. It's super stupid. It's really dumb. That's one of the reasons why I'm really happy to see companies like Valve basically give a giant middle finger and just be all like, hey, yeah, no, fuck you. Like, get fucked. Like, nah, this isn't how this shit works. Is adult content in the out groups when it comes for the normal shit. Yeah. It's super bad. Really bad. There's no money in adult. The argument that there's no money in adult spaces is fucking stupid because adults are the ones that have the money, right? And putting advertisement in child spaces is absolutely fucking scummy. It is the most garbage bullshit shit I've ever seen. There should be no advertisement. Like, advertisement should be strictly illegal in child spaces. It is the most parasitic bullshit. You know, it was kind of normalized in the 90s. But also in the 90s, it was a lot more common to have the entire family sitting together and watching the child programming, right? It wasn't like the kids were not watching Sesame Street alone. A parent is present, right? So at that point, the advertisement was not for the child. It was for the parent, right? And the advertisement was very, child friendly, because it was understood that a child would be present, but it was fundamentally for the parent, not for the child. And then as parents started to just stop parenting their kids and just letting TV and, the screens parent for them, because both parents needed to, go out and fucking work, so neither of them had the time or energy to actually properly manage and moderate and maintain their child's, safety and well-being. Like, that's what it really boils down to. The economy started to tank, and like, I understand why. It doesn't make it correct, it doesn't make it right. It's still a bunch of fucking bullshit. The government literally wants us to be destitute so that we are too exhausted to fight back. That's what it boils down to, and it's absolutely parasitic, and it needs to stop. And I wish I had a way to stop it. I wish I had a way to actually do something about it. The biggest thing that needs to happen is, we need to be not fighting against, the economy and the job market and all that shit. The rich is getting richer and the poor gets poorer. All the money is getting funneled into a smaller and smaller subset of people. And everyone's wondering, oh, why is nothing working properly? And now it's starting to bite all these companies in the ass, and I'm here for it. I fucking love every moment of it. It's so hilarious watching this whole AI bubble bullshit pop. It's great. I love it. I mean, I really want to be a part of that pop too. I want to come out with a pitchfork and, someone touch the bubble. I want to take a toothpick to it. But I don't know if I can. There's a lot that goes into it. I would have to release a freely available AI system that absolutely crushes all metrics, and then charge an absolute fucking arm and a leg, or actually charge royalties at an absurd rate. Basically, if you want to use it for personal use, like for your own shit, go for it. But the moment that you want to actually use it for profit, you can get fucked. Make it not profitable. And then just dominate the market share. That would be the way to do it. But I have absolutely no fucking idea if I can pull it off. Because I'd have to do it like tomorrow. Right? I'd have to make a mock and start training it tomorrow, and it wouldn't have to be able to be as good, if not better, than ChatGPT by like the end of the month. By the end of April, basically. In order for it to be worthwhile. And I have no idea if that's even cool. Like, I have a few ideas on how to pull it off. There's a model that I have in mind that could potentially be able to do it, but I also have absolutely no idea if it would actually work or not. No. I need to fix my posture. Okay, so let's see. My wrist is really starting to hurt. I'm definitely a lot more alert. I think I think this stuff is working pretty well. I could bump up my voice a little bit more if I'm back a little bit farther. I don't know if the music is even audible. Pretty durable. Free. Yeah. So, the AI model that I have in mind, one is stateful. It has state built in instead of the stateless function. Oh crap. That literally doesn't work. And it would be trained on Wikipedia, on either Wikipedia or literally just a dictionary, and that'd be it, right? Because that is a openly, freely available data source, right? It's literally what it's supposed to be used for. And if that is the only training data, then it's not from people without their consent. It's literally public domain information. It's raw information. It's not copyrighted. You know, there's no copyright on it. And depending on how well it would perform, hypothetically, depending on how well it would perform, would determine whether or not it's an untrained model that you can just purchase a new training set on or whatever and just have a different, personality basically. And if this model works even at a fraction of how well I would expect it to, it would be able to run on a fucking smartwatch and have an analytic AI embedded in a smartwatch that can run on the hardware itself would be such a huge benefit. Because then you can give it to, the disabled or elderly, and they would have a system that could monitor their vitals and notify medical personnel in the event that things start to get fucked up or weird or wrong or whatever. And even a lot of those things, it wouldn't even need to be a neural network or an AI system. There's a lot of metrics that you can use to dictate whether or not someone's in trouble or something, like fall detection and things like that. And these are all things that should happen. Or just some people might want to have something that they can quote unquote someone that they can talk to. Way to trick and steal the training data right out of some of the readily available AIs. Not really, because that's not exactly how AI works, right? Because the way that AI works is that you have a function and you feed it the input data, right? And it spits out an output. Technically speaking, the way that it works is that it uses its own output as part of its input, right? And just kind of cyclically self-repeats all that. That's why you have context windows and things like that, and how the more that you use, the more that you converse with an AI in a given context, the less coherent it becomes, right? It starts forgetting things very quickly, because it ends up forgetting the earlier stuff. It's very difficult to maintain a long conversation with AI, because it's stateless, right? It has no state. It has no memory. It reads the entire conversation every single time that you give it a prompt, which is really bad. And then a lot of people say, well, you can have a soul.md, and that is fine, right? But that consumes part of your input, because it needs to have that as part of the number of tokens every single time that you give your prompt. There is no state. It is stateless. It's fundamentally impossible to have AI be worth a fuck, be worth a damn. And in order to make the AI smarter, you have to give it a larger data set in order to train it. You have to train it on more information. Well, how do you get that information? Well, you generate it with the previous model. So it's just reconsuming its own garbage, its own shit. It's literally consuming itself. Because you can't have, you know, they can't make it smarter. There is no fundamental smarter. There is a limit. There is a ceiling. There is a barrier that cannot be breached with the current models. Fundamentally. We have countless papers on this. That the AI boundary it's a horizon. Right? There is an AI horizon, that's why it's a bubble. Is because, you know, these AI bros are saying that they have gone past the horizon, which you physically can't do. Right? You cannot walk past the horizon. That's why it's a horizon. It is an insurmountable boundary that cannot be crossed. And we're already at that boundary. All AI systems are. Right? All large language models are at that point. The only way to have a more performant AI system is to have more parameters. Make it bigger, right? So if you wanted to have the AI trick itself into giving up its own information, you have to have access to the original training data in order to do that, right? You can't give the raw data because it has no inference on that. Yeah. You mean Chuck Norris? Hulk Hogan is a piece of shit. But yeah, no. Chuck Norris has passed away today. That was either today or yesterday. Which today also happens to be my father's birthday. So. Yeah, and Death finally had a Chuck Norris. Yeah. Nah, you're fine. You're fine. I totally understand. Yeah, Chuck Norris passed away today at the age of 86. So we have that. And this is screen space. If I wanted to, I could click it and drag it and it would, you know, do the stuff because of how the shader is written. So I don't like that. And it's not super great. I would rather have it be based off of the, yeah, I think that's the screen space coordinates, extra chords. Text UD, TV. So I want there to be I think I could just do text TV. Okay. Error. When did that do that? What? What do you mean? That actually did not work. When does not exist? Right there, uniform. Yeah, I don't understand why it's not. When did it not exist? What is malformed? You've got to be fucking kidding me. Yo, dog. Why you be... Oh! Because it's not in use, bitch. Because the uniform is not in use. What Pokemon would you have if you could have one? Like a full team? Full team. Well, for one, I would have Mighty in it because puppy. I would have... I don't think Braixen is anything that's too terribly awful. I'd have a Braixen. I'd have a Meowscarada. Braixen, Meowscarada, Mightyena, Scizor. I would have either Scizor or Sparmer. I think Scizor. Yeah, Scizor. Oh, what water type would I want? I think I would want like a Buizel. The water type. And then I think Sandslash. I think that would be my team for both, honestly. I mean, neither, like those teams are not particularly problematic. Yeah. Probably a pretty good mix of them too. And I'll name the Mightyena Link. Bonus points if you can figure out why. So, I have the SUV. Well, what if... Okay. So, if I do that, then I can do... TV. I can do TV. I think TV. Have, I'm not, I don't think I should see. Unused window, yeah, okay. So that's fine. Should be perfect. Okay, so that is the proper thing. Yeah, no, I think for both it would be Mightyena, Braixen, Meowscarada, Scizor, Weasel, and Sandslash. Yeah. That'd be my team for both, actually. Okay, so I have that. That's good. So now we have a way to get into there. And then we can do, let's delete that. I mean, I can also delete that, and then delete that, and delete that. I mean, I don't necessarily want to get rid of these because these are all things that are useful. Mainly because I just like having a window and populating it. It is a funny conversation just to see how scary even simple Pokemon. Yeah, I mean, simple Pokemon are pretty scary. There's quite a number of Pokemon that are cataclysmic in their existence, like Macargo. Literally, Macargo would just vaporize things. I mean, yeah, Houndoom is pretty terrifying too. I forget. I don't know what the dex entry for Houndoom is. There's some pretty war-related BS with Houndoom. I'm pretty pleased with the audio. Like I'm talking pretty low. I'm speaking pretty quietly. You know, not too terribly loud. It's just, you know, I think this would be a good thing. I think I want to do this kind of like time slot from now on. Like I can try for doing stuff in the later on in the day, and there's stuff to do. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I think it's like Macargo is like so hot that it would literally like vaporize a whole city with how hot it is. Just like its existence, like the actual temperature itself would be cataclysmic. Like it's really stupid. Snorlax would be a lot of fun to have, honestly. I mean, it did take 30 years for Snorlax to get up, so, you know, I feel it. Also, ears. Yeah. I guess I could have just muted. That would have been the smart thing to do. In here. Huh. I mean, if you get to choose what Pokemon you turn into, I'm just saying. just saying. I would be not too terribly upset about that. Oh no, I've been turned into a Pokemon. It's not like my favorite franchise of all time is that entirety as a premise. Oh no. Whatever shall I do? Yeah. Okay, let's see here. I mean, the Pokemon world as a whole is pretty intense. There's like literal psychics. Like, the ability to be a psychic is a canonical thing that actually, you know, not just as like some mythical typing. There are people who are psychic. Like, it is confirmed that psychic powers do exist in the world of Pokemon. And Ash dies every other fucking year. Ash has died like 5 times or some shit throughout the series. I think he's died in every single movie. Or at least close to it. I mean, he's died in the first one. I don't remember the second one very well. I mean, that's Ludia's song. The saddest one of the guaranteed to have been. Yeah, the mask. Yeah. How does Ash die in the second movie? He dies in the show at the haunted house in Lavender Town. Ash dies in Lavender Town. He has a chandelier fall on him. And Hunter and Ghastly start playing with his ghost. With his soul. And they get all sad because everyone around him is fucking sad that he's fucking dead. So they give him his soul back and he wakes up from the fucking dead. That's after Lieutenant Surge. Yeah, because the what is it? The movie takes place after Lieutenant Surge, after SS Han, I think. Like immediately after SS Han or some shit like that. I don't remember when in the timeline the first movie takes place. Or is it after Giovanni? Oh wait, no, it has to be after Giovanni. Because, yeah, it definitely takes place after Giovanni. Is it after the whole Indigo Plateau? I can't remember. I mean, it's been like 30 fucking years. 30 years. Oh, Pokemon 2000. Oh no, Pokemon 2000 is... Pokemon 2000 is Gold Silver. Yeah, Pokemon 2000 is Lugia. That's Gold and Silver. That's when Slowking says that he wished he had pants. The greatest singular Pokemon character of all time. Fucking fight me. Yeah, Pokemon 2000 is Lugia. Oh, Lugia's song still fucking makes me cry every time I listen to it. Same thing with the main motif from Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers. I don't want to say goodbye. Not the guild motif, but the ending motif. That shit fucking makes me cry every time. Dialga's. Yeah, Dialga's motif. That shit is fucking rough. Just because that whole ending sequence is... Oh. I mean, Undertale kind of does that to me with Azrael's theme and all that. Hopes and Dreams is pretty emotional. So we have that. Oh, actually, I think what? Yeah, we can do that. What do you mean invalid command? Fuck you. Fuck you. Save. Okay, so we have a way to... Yeah, so top left, bottom right. I mean, that's fine, because we can... what is it? Texel? Is it Texel, or is it Pixel? Yeah, the texture lookup for... texture. Wait. I mean, it's mainly because Love2D has a dialect of GLSL. It's close, but it's not quite the same. Not quite. Okay, so it is the texel function. The texel is the texel. That's what I thought it was. Okay. I think I could just return the pics. Alright. Should be it. I probably have a. Oh no, I didn't have. I don't. Fuck. And I could floor it. Right? I mean, I could floor it. Because I could do. Because I could do like a bunch of really cool graphics programming stuff here. Filters and things, right? Because what I can do is I can do pix is equal to floor of pix, right? Oh, but that's yeah, because I think it is normalized coordinates. Well, I mean, let's find out. Ooh, interesting. That's strange. That's odd. Okay. None. Very strange. Yeah. So is it? Floor picks on. Is it because it's that? It's not. So. If I do. So, picks, that will, yeah, wash it out. But the reason why I'm having issues is because I'm not, I don't want to be, I don't want to be, I don't want to be doing that. I want to be doing right. Floor. Do floor divided by 32. Oh, not times. I want that to be times. Very strange. Very interesting. Yeah, because this is linear. Now the direct lookup is bilinear interpolation. Right? Because that's just how textures work with OpenGL. It does do blending, but there are other ways of handling it. Right? Because you can also do. Very interesting. Okay. Yeah. So the red is like kind of accurate, but also not quite. Cool. I don't really like that. What is the size of that? I'm just gonna do that instead. So we have the pixel, because the main thing is that we want to change. So there is a bit of there's a bit of an issue. Right? Because we can either have the different colors be different palette lookups, right? Because Otter makes games. Otter make games. He's kind of running into an issue of like rebalancing the color, right? That's literally the problem that I want to solve. Do that in a texture, like as a shader, and do it in a way that's very easy for him to work with, right? There's a lot of different ways of handling this. Because like the way that you want to be dealing with these like textures and stuff, with like these animations and sprites and things along those lines, is that you want to do all the at once. You want to do it in a way that is very like intuitive to yourself. Right. Alright. Yeah. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. I also feel like I should change the sound alerts. Oh, fuck. I don't know if I can. Fuck. Nonde. Got an alerts. Ah, okay. So, sound alerts is that, but I can also... lower those quite a bit. Right. Also lower that by a bit. I don't necessarily want those to be like super loud. Right. Let's do a little bit of a test, shall we? Hey Rich, if you're still here, could you do me a favor and do a redeem on the doobly-doo with the doobly jam? Yes, that works. If I can't do it myself. Yeah. I will try to do it. Well, I need to go to, yeah, I think I need to go to my channel. I'm gonna watch myself proper, and then mute, and go to alerts.
I need more caffeine. My blood is not thin enough.
Aha, okay. It's not too bad. Actually, I haven't heard
Time to stretch.
Jesus fucking Christ, that's loud as shit. Why? Why are you so fucking loud, dog? Brother. Is that like not a fucking thing? How loud is it?
Konnichiwa, bitches.
Yeah, that's fine. Fucking hell, that shit's loud. Goddamn. Fucking jump scare my ass. Whatever. I'll just fucking deal with it. I guess. I don't know. It's like the, I don't think any of these things actually work properly. It's like, it's... I can't change how fucking loud this stuff is. And that pisses me off. I don't know how... I'll just have to look into it, I guess. I don't know. Because I don't want to blast out my fucking speakers every goddamn time that someone does a thing. So... I don't know. Very, very strange. Yeah. Because it's like minus 40. It should be basically, yeah, that's 1/16 the volume. It should basically be non-existent. But whatever, I guess. Fuck fun now. Yeah, whatever. Anywho, so back to, I don't know. Not. So, how do I... again, with the problem at hand. Beware, oblivion is at hand. So what is... what do? Right? What be? Okay. And if I carefully move this without sounding like absolute garbage, I will stand up. Oh, fuck. Let me stand. Let's move this here. I want that there. I want that over where? Okay. Everybody stretch. If you're here, stretch. Ow. Okay. Alright. So, what is it? What is the, what is this thing I'm gonna do? A lot of it is the hue shift and the color rebound. There's a lot that goes into that. Because it's the, two different ways of doing it. So, you can either add a hue to it, or can effectively change the curve. So, what kind of curve shift is there? Big part of it is that there is going to be. I mean, okay. So, the difference is. Okay, let's do a little something. Let's do a little something something. Alright, let's do a little draw. Actually, let's do. This is a terrible thing for my shit. Cool. This is not very good. Yeah, so let's do another. I don't want that. I want want this. Right? And for 2, I want a new. Let's save this. 2 projects. I feel like I'm holding an easel. I mean, I guess I kind of am. Let's go here. We want so as goes to f of a as a approaches 1. As a approaches 1, we want this to be as a approaches 1, we want what? F of x equals a 0.5 and so this is x to the 0, x to the 1, x to the infinity. So this is kind of the mapping. Right? So we want to have if a is equal to what? So the output, right? Because f of x is equal to x to the a. Now, what we need to do is we need to figure out what g of a is. We need to have g of a equal to a such that as a to 0 a I mean, I guess we could figure out. I mean, we could just define it, right? G of a is a function such that a approaches 0. It is g of a approaches a 0.5. G of a is equal to 1. A approaches 1. G of a is 0. Yep. These are very important. These are very important axioms that we're upholding. So we have these axioms in place, and we need to resolve with it. So this is looking like some kind of So this is looking like some kind of f of a over h of a. This is what this looks like. So you know that this is going to be. Now I could just look it up. Right? Very easily look it up. This is a solved problem, because this is the same problem as the, very similar to the bubble sort algorithm curve, the curve of the bubble sort algorithm. Right? So what is this going to be? We know that f of 0.5 is equal to, well, I mean, I guess it j of 0.5. We could do j of 1/2 to h of also have h of 0, 0, and wouldn't that suffice? Would we say h of x? We say h of a. Say h of a equal to a, and j of 1 minus a means that we would have minus a means that of the 1 over a. Is this something I could do? Is this how that would go? Let's find it. My back hurts. Come on, Decimus. Let's get working. I think f of x is 2x to the power of 2 minus 2s slider. Going to be 1, 0, 1, step. 0.01. Yep, it works exactly as intended. As a approaches 0, it does oh shit. It does a lot of really funky weird shit. as you do stuff. The negative side of it. But within the domain. So I think that is the same algorithm. I think that's the same thing that it used for Kern. I think this is the same curve that it used for. Yeah. So there's that. Oh. Whew. So, we know that x is going to be 1 minus a over a. And a is going to be the... it could be... a is going to be a vector. In GLSL, you can just divide vectors as things. So we can do... So we have that, right? Which means that we could do a... No, I guess we're not doing the DDA algorithm here. That's not what I wanted. Oh, that's super nice. That's super nice. Qualifying uniform is the shape of the GLA is environment. Cool. This is super nice that it automatically terminates that. That's cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Alright. Let's get working on this, right? Uniform beta. V4 beta. And then this is going to be I don't know why it knocked it all the way up or whatever. So we have is Texas is equal to power float x float y. This is power of 1.0 minus theta by And what this will do is that this will create a color that we can pick. And this will determine, this is literally just a color. And it is the color balance. For and it is the color balance for the display situation, right? And this will also end up like washing things out, things like that. The issue is this is purely subtractive. Right. So this can give rise to some issues. Right? Because like it might be, because something to keep in mind is that we might want to have something that will maybe amplify the colors or something along those lines. This is something to keep in mind. And it is what it is. So let's see what this looks like. So that we can say oh, it's actually shader send. Shader send. Data. Let's do 0.5, 0.5 is going to do. Right. Let's see if I screwed anything up. Special library power semicolon. Right. Monday. Oh. I'm a fucking dumb fuck. Okay. This, okay. Oh, first of all, that's incorrect, and this should be a 3. And this is actually a 4, and this is a undo. Undo. I might have been wrong. That is, oh, I'm super, oh, fuck. No. God damn it. Yeah, interesting. That's interesting. Why? Okay. Perché? Nande? Nande. Nande. I mean, that's more of a game approach. Because I can wash them all out. I do. This is, cool, interesting. That's a red shift. Very interesting red shift. Nande. Oh, because those are already matched out. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Because those are all matched out, the only time that you'll actually see any difference is that the boundary when there's blending. Interesting. Because pure colors like that will not show any issue. That's the whole point of it. Do we want to have a pre-shift or a post-shift? I mean, a pre-shift will have a boost or... Well, a pre-shift will boost or suppress different colors, right? Because we don't necessarily want to add, we want to just mutate, right? We want to mutate. So the pure color. Interesting. Very interesting. So looking at the boundary when red is being shifted around. I don't know why it's not doing it on the boundary between white and... Oh no, because that's... Not doing it because of the blue. I don't know. Something weird going on there. Nothing? Music. Oh, it's there. Okay. Okay. Alright. What is it I'm going to be doing? I'm also wondering if I'm going to be doing something for the morning. I'm going to try anyway. See what happens. I don't know. I'm still kind of figuring out when I should be streaming. See how things go. How go, what do, etc. Very interesting, because that's offset. Very strange. So green is untouched, and blue is suppressed very harshly. Interesting. So that is one way of handling the ridge, or just shifting. And also, yeah, because that's kind of like the, not the, it's like a game crush. And different monitors is going to have a different gamma crush. This is a chromatic gamma crush, not just a brightness gamma. Kind of like the difference between like HDR and other stuff. Because HDR does a very similar thing, right? The high dynamic range, all that stuff. There's like a gamma correction, and that is something that I'd be going into at some point. I really like the of HDR and how all that works, right? So I am going to be trying to figure out how all that works. Yeah. Only 11 hours. About 2 hours. Not too terrible. I mean, I would like to have more time throughout the day and stuff. So I probably will be doing something. Just kind of wake up whenever I wake up and do stuff. Just kind of split it. I have like two different streams or something. I do want to stream during the night because I have a lot more. This is how alert I am at night. I think there's a lot of other audio stuff that I want to figure out. That's something too. Otter streams start streaming about the time that I wake up. And I don't necessarily want to be streaming while he's streaming because I want to join in on his stream. So, there is that. The only thing is that if we were to like stream together or something, I don't know, it'd be interesting. I don't know. I have to talk to him about it. No promises. I mean, probably not. Yeah. Oh no, don't mind me, I'm just doing random bullshit. But yeah. Like, I would like to join in on his streams, because he's awesome. He is an awesome author, whom I impress somehow. I don't get it. But, yeah. So... yeah. I wonder how that works. So what that's going to do is it's going to maybe interesting. Yeah, because that's going to change the in-between colors. That's what that's going to do. Like, this is a start. I think there's going to be something along the lines of like a pre-mod and a post-mod. These are all things that I think would be pretty nice to have and to do. So, I don't know, I'll have to noodle around and think about it a little longer. Figure out how things go. And all that. Anyway, I think that's gonna be it. I'm gonna end it here. I have the Mad Lich King stream to pop in on. because I'm helping him with his project. Yeah, I'm helping them with their project, so that'll be it here. I'm gonna end. And I hurt a lot from standing and stuff, so I'm gonna have to do some stretches and figure all this stuff out. So.